think so. Can I? Can I? Can I? We're gonna be reacting to this bad boy. On my live streaming, I wanna check my phone, see if it's like big enough. Mm, Why is my phone here like that? And it's moderately big.
Fantastic. With a total of
God, I hope he doesn't copyright me. Oh, I'm probably gonna get copyrighted. What am I talking about? What is that for? Yo, do I have one viewer? Hey, that one viewer, comment. I want to see if it's actually you or it's just me on my phone. Okay. Wait. Crap. It's lag again.
fan games.
There. Okay. Never mind. Actually, wait. I wanted to. Okay, I welcome to the screen. By the way, what did I do? Let's go play movies. Yeah, let's start.
Fan games. These are some of the biggest labors of love that a person or a team could show any particular IP or franchise. But out of all the gaming icons that there have ever been, none of them come close to the insane amount of fan projects that have been created for Sonic the Hedgehog. From RPGs to classic recreations to even 3D experiences, Sonic has a near endless supply of fan games. But with such vastness and variety, it can be quite a challenge to find experiences that go above and beyond. So I had a bit of an idea. What if all these fan titles were compiled into one massive collection? Well, that's what today is all about. So sit back, relax, and get ready to spin dash, because today we're taking on a massive deep dive into the intense world of Sonic the Hedgehog's top fan games. And in order to achieve that, we're hopping into what I like to call the Sonic Mega Fan Collection.
Okay, the amount of times he put Sonic soundtracks in his videos. The amount of time he puts Sonic's soundtracks in his videos honestly makes me surprised. Like he didn't get copyright strike. Honestly, and also, I have 0 viewers. Why am I doing that?
Alright, before we dive right into this, I need to establish a few things. First off, this video will be divided up by sections, with 4 different segments in total, and these fan games will have to meet certain criteria to be a part of each of these segments. Secondly, each segment is in no particular order, so we're not going from worst to best, just a general showcase of a bunch of games. And finally, most importantly, it's very likely that there might be a fan game that you enjoyed that might not be on this list. That doesn't mean I don't think it's good, it most likely means I either couldn't fit into the video, or I didn't even know it existed, so please keep that in mind. But with all that finally laid out, let's not waste any more time and get into our first segment.
I love this.
Welcome to our very first segment of the video, the top 2D Sonic fan games. Now, every game in this segment will have to have 3 different things. First off, every game in this segment will have to be fully completed and or at least offer a very lengthy experience. Second off, the game has to play fairly well, with refined physics and mechanics. Finally, the game has to look like it's of high quality, so it can't look like any old Flash game from the early 2000s or anything. So essentially, something akin to the official Sega games. So with all that in mind, let's hop over to our very first entry, that being Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit. Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit was a full-blown Sega Genesis style remake of Sonic Triple Trouble, an old Sega Game Gear game that released back in 1994. Now this old school Game Gear title was fairly good, and probably one of the best Game Gear Sonic games that we had up to this point. But Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit takes this game and dials it up to 1,000. Now this fan game has been created by Noah, who actually worked on it for the better part of 5 years, with the game finally releasing on August 2nd of 2022. Now Triple Trouble 16-bit has a whole lot to offer. Not only can you play as Sonic and Tails, but you can also play as Knuckles, Fang, Metal Sonic, and now Amy Rose. Oh, and as far as the physics and the mechanics go for this fan game, they are on point with the original games. If anything, it feels like this game's feel and style was made by Sega themselves from the 90s. That's how good it is. The game also sports a bunch of remade and updated bosses, a grand total of about 9 stages, and surprisingly is extremely faithful to the original source material, but with plenty of quality of life updates and improvements. And of course, I can't forget the amazing soundtrack that Triple Trouble 16-bit has, and its re-renditions of the original Game Gear songs. Also, Super Sonic is in this as an unlockable once you get all the Chaos Emeralds. And there is still so much more that I haven't even talked about yet. Now, as far as the story goes, Sonic Trouble 16-bit pretty much follows the same beat-for-beat story elements as the original. However, Noah ended up going above and beyond and actually had an entire comic made that pretty much set up the events of Sonic Triple Trouble, which I think is absolutely awesome. And as far as the game itself, it takes place right after the events of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, with the very first stage actually being you facing off against the remnants of the Death Egg robot that was showcased in Sonic 3 and Knuckles' Doomsday Zone. Although the 16-bit remake does add a few additional elements into the story from the Game Gear original, suffice it to say, Sonic Triple Trouble is jam-packed with content and you'll have tons to do in this amazing title. Now, I do want to talk about the final boss for Triple Trouble for just a minute, so skip ahead if you don't want any spoilers.
Spoiler alert, I already played the game once, but like, still spoiler alert, so.
But, holy crap! It gets revealed.
1543. I'll do 1542.
For me, Sonic Triple Trouble 16-bit will forever and always be the Sonic 4 that we should have gotten. Not only is it an amazing experience and it feels one-to-one with the classic titles, but the quality here is absolutely unmatched, and this genuinely is one of the best games I have ever played. So for those reasons and many, many others is why, at least for me, Sonic Triple Trouble will always be one of the best experiences that's ever been made. Now, next up we have a bit of a double whammy. Sonic Classic 1 and its sequel, Sonic Classic 2. First, let's start things off by talking about the original Sonic Classic. This is a fan game being created by a user known as Hez, and it saw its latest release on July 7th of 2016. Now this game features the classic trio of characters all being playable, that being Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles of course. And the game also has a variety of unique and beautiful made levels, with a grand total of 7 being featured in the game. Now, graphically speaking, Sonic Classic sprite work and animations are a definite highlight, with the game looking just like the Genesis originals. And on top of that, the game also features an array of amazing tracks, with every song featured in this fan game having that old school classic Sonic upbeat high energy feel. And when looking at the physics and controls, they're pretty much one for one with the Genesis originals. And all the characters feel great to play with. Now, as far as the story is concerned, this game actually takes place after the events of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where after the events of that game, it turns out that the Death Egg actually crashed onto South Island, and now Dr. Eggman is setting out to try and get it back into the sky and put his plans back in motion. So it's your job to get to the Death Egg first and put a stop to his newest plan and destroy the Death Egg for good. In summary, the original Sonic Classic is a great time. It's a fun fan game with a lot to offer and a lot to play with. And if you're a fan of the original Genesis titles, you will love Sonic Classic. Now with all that said, we're not done just yet, because Hez made another game, like I already said at the start of this entry, being the sequel to Sonic Classic, known as Sonic Classic 2. This sequel title came out during the 2021 Sage Expo, and it pretty much just does everything that Sonic Classic did, but way better. Its gameplay and physics are spot on, and the music is really well done all throughout this title. And just like the original, the sprite work and animations are all really high quality and look fantastic. With a total of 10 unique zones, 4 playable characters being Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Fang, new gameplay gimmicks, customizable shields, and much, much more, Sonic Classic 2 just has so much to offer. That's not even including all the amazing boss fights that are featured in the game, the fact you can collect all the Chaos Emeralds. I mean, my lord, this is a really jam-packed experience. In summary, these two fan games offer a whole bunch of content and are an amazing love letter to the original classic Sonic series. And if you're a fan of 2D Sonic, you'll for sure be a fan of Sonic Classic 1 and 2. Right then, our next team up to bat is one that a lot of Sonic Advance players will most likely love. That being Sonic FGX Ultimate.
Oh, yeah,
this title is meant to be a tribute as well as an upbringing to an older Sonic fan game known as Sonic FGX, which at the time was made by DeKoldrick. But as far as Sonic FGX Ultimate is concerned, this game is perfect for advanced players. Now, FGX Ultimate was created by Tvik, and not only does it add an entire array of characters like Sonic, Tails, and more, but it adds a variety of different stages to play through and bosses to encounter. And they're all pretty expansive with many different paths you can take. But to go along with this, every character has an array of different moves that they can use, and these moves can help you keep the flow of speed consistently. This game is meant to be replayed over and over again, allowing you to get faster and faster. It's like a Sonic Advance speedrunner's dream. And add icing on top of the cake, probably the biggest thing that this game has is online multiplayer. This means you have the ability to verse against other players or your friends and race each other in these awesome expansive stages. And with each stage having 2 acts and a boss fight, there's a lot to go through here. There's also some bonus content you can achieve, whether you're going through the arcade mode and or if you're trying to get the Chaos Emeralds to unlock Super Sonic. There's also a full-blown level up system, where every time you level up, you'll unlock more abilities and moves that will make you that much better in these stages. So if you're looking for the ultimate Sonic Advance multiplayer experience, or if you just want some more Sonic Advance in your life, or maybe have a game to play with friends, or if you want to have a bit of a speedrunning challenge, or try and claim top on the leaderboards, then Sonic FGX Ultimate is the game for you. And I'm confident that you'll have a fantastic time. Okay, we're hopping back over to 2D titles now, and the next one up to bat is one of the most unique and jam-packed experiences out there. A title known as Sonic USB Online. Sonic USB Online is a game being created by Selphie and their team that pretty much is a Sonic CD style fan game that adds a whole bunch of stuff to do. Between having 36 different playable characters, yes, I said 36, 88 pets to collect, 7 different zones with a grand total of 20 acts, tons of different special stages and more, as well as an online version of Sonic ISO and the first 3 levels of Sonic 2 ISO, with both of these being shorter, smaller fan game experiences that pretty much act as an isometric 3D remake of Sonic 1 and 2 in the same style as the arcade release Sega Sonic. And to add on to this, the game feels fantastic to play, the effects and the graphics look amazing, the music and the sound effects are awesome, the stage variety and layouts are really well done with some of the most unique and interesting mechanics I've ever experienced. This title is just packed to the brim with stuff to do. I mean, this game even has a level maker, like how cool is that? And that's just one of the many other different modes to play in this game. And I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Sonic USB also has a variety of different Easter eggs to find. Between references to Star Fox as well as Uganda Knuckles, you'll find something here that'll probably give you a good chuckle, or at least something cool to find. With so much to do in Sonic USB Online, you'll be spending quite a bit of time here. It's a brilliant experience, and I'm more than positive that you'll enjoy your time with Sonic USB. So please, go show it the love that it definitely deserves, because the amount of work that they've put into this is just insane. Okay then, our next game up to bat is one that a lot of Advance and Sonic Rush players will probably love to death. And that game is Sonic Dimensions. Sonic Dimensions is a work-in-progress title being created by Phantom. But even if this is still a work in progress, there is so much packed into this game that on a blind run, you'll probably spend about 2 or more hours trying to collect and unlock everything. Now, first and foremost, this game is really well packed with a variety of levels to experience, with there being 7 main stages and 2 bonus stages to play through, with all these zones being very expansive with many different paths you can take, along with unique gimmicks and ideas, but all of them have a great sense of speed. And to achieve this, Sonic and Shadow, the playable characters in this game, have a wide variety of different moves that they can use to maintain their speed, and you can unlock a lot of these moves at Tails' shop, meaning that you can actually create your own playstyle with your own set of abilities. You can't use them all at once, so you have to pick and choose on what playstyle you particularly want. Abilities can range anywhere from getting a better boost gauge, to attracting rings to you, to even unlocking extra shields that you can use on a moment's notice. The game really gives you a lot of options here, it's awesome. And another reason why this is so cool is that it actually adds a reason to collect rings, as they double as currency in this game. And you're going to need quite a few in order to purchase everything at the shop. And even without all these extra abilities, the base moves of Sonic and Shadow are very versatile, with Sonic featuring a double jump, and Shadow featuring this awesome little Chaos Dash. And of course, both characters have the tried and true boost gauge. There's also achievements you can unlock by doing different challenges, whether it's completing a stage in a set time, or beating a certain number of enemies, or collecting a certain amount of rings. There's tons to unlock here. And on top of that, you can actually obtain the Chaos Emeralds by obtaining an S rank on every stage. And once you get all 7, you unlock the super forms for both Shadow and Sonic. And these super forms tear through these zones. But if you're really wanting to challenge yourself, you can go back through the stages again using the super forms to try and gain an X rank. And these ranks are really awesome to obtain, because it requires you not only having a really high score, but really pushing through the stage at max speed. So you're going to need to know these stages fairly well and the best paths to take. And once you get X rank on all 7 of these stages, you can unlock Hypersonic. And this guy is just, holy crap! Hypersonic is so satisfying to use, and is a great final reward for all your hard effort. And I love using him. And the crazy part is, that is not the only things you can unlock. Like I've already stated before, there are 2 additional stages you can play through. One of them being Jungle Joyride, which you can unlock by getting all of the red rings throughout the entire game. And on top of that, in the stage select, you can play through the Null Zone, which is effectively the hardest stage in the game, and it will really test your abilities. But man, is it exhilarating. Graphically speaking, this game looks absolutely phenomenal, with a beautiful UI, amazing effects, and the sprite work pretty much being straight from the advanced games, so it's obviously really good. And the music here is reuses from tracks featured throughout the Sonic franchise. So of course, the music is also really good. Just all in all, Sonic Dimensions is a marvelous experience. And to be completely honest, when I was getting footage for this game, I just kept coming back again and again and again. I couldn't stop playing. I wanted to get better. I wanted to get faster. I wanted to get that elusive X rank. This game is just so fun. The flow is fantastic. I love Sonic Dimensions. It is so awesome. And the fact that we have more content on the way and this game is still very much alive in development makes me that much more excited to see the future of this title. So if you're a fan of boost gameplay and action-packed stages, then I am more than certain that you will fall in love with Sonic Dimensions. Alrighty, our next entry in this list is one that's actually a remake of an old Genesis game, that being Sonic 3D in 2D. Sonic 3D in 2D is a full-blown 2D remake of Sonic 3D Blast, an old Sega Genesis game that saw release on November 5th of 1996. Now for context, Sonic 3D Blast featured our blue boy running around in these pseudo-like 3D levels, exploring all around collecting flickies to advance through each area. But after this game launched over the years, some fans wondered what this game would have been like in 2D. Well, we actually would end up getting that question answered in Sonic 3D in 2D. This fan game was created by Sodanux, and it saw its latest update on March 10th of 2022. This entire title pretty much reimagines the plot, level design, characters, and more in a full-blown, well, 2D experience. The game features 8 zones with 15 acts to explore, 15 unique boss battles to engage with, several playable characters like Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, but additional ones like Shadow, Buckles, and Ashura. It also features the elemental shields found in the original 2D Sonic games, as well as including the original Golden Shield.
Alright, I'm gonna leave the string here.